Oh, are you
This
recording it?
meeting is being recorded.
Oh, great, great. Welcome back. So we were just talking about how having neurodiversity in the workplace increases both empathy and collaboration. By embracing neurodiverse employees, it promotes a culture where employees feel valued, respected, empowered, as well as contribute to the unique strengths of the organization. So I'm going to repeat this again as I stated it before when we talked about heightened empathy. Most people, when they leave jobs, people don't leave jobs, they leave people, right? So having an atmosphere and a culture where you feel valued, respected, and empowered really is great for retention, really is great for long-term employment because it's a place where you feel like you can not only grow and thrive, but that you are accepted for the quirkiness of your brain and all. So, out of the box thinking is another one of the great things that helps when you have neurodiverse individuals. Again, it drives creativity, innovation, and it leads to novel solutions. One of the things that we haven't talked about, the next two are diverse skill sets, right? And so, I just take for an example, we're making a pie and just pretend like our brain is each part of that particular pie. And so, what ideas and ingredients you have in your brain is going to make the pie special in some kind of way, but you also need all the other ingredients, right? So it's those diverse skill sets, so diverse spice that we each have that helps in problem solving, in the innovation. And then finally, it gives you a competitive edge, right? In terms of even if it's a small business or a big organization, and the big thing today is to stay relevant. Everyone wants to stay relevant, right? And so, how do you do that? You've got to have a competitive edge. You've always got to be coming up with fresh ideas and new ideas, creativity, being adaptable, being able to ride the wave of the economy or the workforce or whatever it is that you're trying to ride. All those things are necessary. And it's something about a neurodiverse brain that makes that competitive advantage all that much better. So, last and final section. Just so, what does creating an inclusive work environment look like and what's helpful, right? Well, I'm not advancing. Hold on just a second. I think I'm frozen. There we go. Policy development. Developing policies that are inclusive, that accommodate the needs of neurodiverse employees, ensuring that they have equal access to opportunities, resources, career advancements within the organization. Training and awareness. Like this quick PowerPoint that we're having here over lunch is a really great way to learn more about what neurodiversity is, to take ideas back to your places of employment. It helps foster a better understanding, like we've talked about, empathy and support for our neurodiverse colleagues. And it creates a culture of inclusivity as well as respect. And then mentorship programs and support networks to provide guidance and assistance to neurodiverse employees and encouraging professional development and well-being, right? So let's say you place a neurodiverse employee with an atypical employee, right? To be a mentee ship type of relationship. I mean, that does wonders, right? Because the neurodiverse person can provide creative ideas that maybe the atypical employee had not decided or thought about. And then the atypical employee can provide support to the neurodiverse employee around tips and tricks and how to stay focused and, organization and whatever your neurodiverse I call it superpower, would have it make it perhaps a little different to work in a space, provide mentorship and advice around that. Workplace accommodations. We talked about that a little bit earlier in the presentation around what that looks like, including flexible work arrangements, sensory friendly workspaces, communication support, and to create an environment where neurodiverse employees can thrive. I can't tell you how much communication support works wonders for me. It can be, I don't know if you've seen those apps, it could be speech to text where maybe you have that on your phone in a meeting. And so while someone is speaking, rather than you taking notes, the notes are being taken for you, and that helps in the process. Another thing that I like to try to do, particularly if I know the neurodiverse issue, is if I have a meeting with an individual, most times I zone out after 20, 30 minutes of just following up with an email. It's like, hey, thanks so much for coming to the meeting. This is what we discussed, just as a reminder, X, Y, and Z. Those little things go a long way in providing accommodations, or even as an employee asking your supervisor to provide work tasks and instructions in email because it's easier for you to read it rather than maybe audibly taking the information. Leveraging assistive technologies and tools is a little bit what I talked about. The speech to text or the text to speech type tools, those are great. Maybe audible, depending on if maybe it's a manual you need to read, and it works out better if you can have the manual and audible. Those are a workplace accommodation as well as making sure there's a supportive environment and fostering a culture that values diversity and equity. So, and then in building that supportive culture, I think the main thing to know is you have the support of leadership, right? It starts at the top down, and that is the only way that it's going to be successful as you have complete buy-in. So leadership has to be supportive of it. And ERGs or employee resource groups, some common employee resource groups, let's say if you work at a local bank, all the women of the bank get together, for mentorship or leadership, or maybe there's lots of individuals that identify as being part of the Hispanic culture. So there's a different employee resource group. I think those are phenomenal. I've been a part of establishing them as well as being a part of them. It is a support system that's helpful in the workplace. You feel like that you can identify that others that maybe have the same concerns that you may have, but I also we use it as a learning process. Maybe we had a lunch and learn and someone came in and did a training similar to this that would help us in our professional development skills. And then, of course, celebration, organizing events that celebrate diversity. October is World Diversity Month. So celebrating that in the month of October. Early in the year, there's Autism Month. There is Women's Month in March. There is Pride. We're in the middle of the Pride Month, right? But just celebrating diversity throughout the company creates a culture of appreciation and respect for everyone. Making sure that there are some collaboration around cross-functional duties. I'd like to say my assistant and I, we're really good at this in terms of, and we joke all the time, collectively we share a brain, but between the two of us, we can get the entire project done. And so that is really a great idea. Feedback and communication. Just pointing out things that maybe could improve or be different, or feedback is how you did such a great job, things of that nature. That goes a long way. And then making sure that there's always continuous improvement. I like to say that it's okay to make a mistake. Just do your very, very best not to make the same mistake twice, right? So continuous improvement is what we're looking for. So those are some ideas around fostering collaboration as well as making your space neurodiverse friendly. So that's all I have. I mentioned that I have my 5 to 9 as the Phoenix group, and so that's my email if you'd like to reach out with any questions, comments, or concerns. I am happy to send this slide over to Amanda as well, and so she can pass it out. I am happy also to answer any questions that may be out there as I try to figure out my screen. And thanks so much for being a part of the program, Brooklyn and Ann. Hopefully, I gave you some few nuggets and tips that were helpful, or ways to think about what type of culture you want to create for the next company and organization you're a part of.
Yes, I have a question that maybe
Sure.
they would benefit from. So, as participants in STL youth jobs, how can they foster neurodiversity at their workplace specifically?
Sure. And so I think a really good thing is, so neurodiverse is also one of those things that you can't see, right? A lot of times. So for example, if you have a coworker who may be walking with a cane and you see they need help with the restroom, like that's easy, right? Let me rush over and hold the door, right? So it takes, to just being aware and patient and understanding. And so if you notice a coworker that may seem to be having an off day, it may just be that it's an off day, but it may be that the brain is just not having a great day. They're fatigued. They maybe can't get organized, can't get their thoughts together, things of that nature. Offer help, offer support in any capacity that you're able to do, and then be patient and understand that there's also some days that are just off, and if you're able to push something back maybe to the next day, it's not a deadline that's looming or whatever, you know, maybe that's the grace and space that you provide. As well as, like I said, that whole collaborative thing. Maybe it's a project that they were working on solely. How can I help? Can we get this done together? Right. So, yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing.
No problem. I could talk about this for days.
Mhm. Yeah, it's a very beneficial topic.
Mhm.
And I will share this with our team that's not here, in addition to the other participants that didn't attend.
Sure.
Because I think it's beneficial for everybody, not just the participants in our program. So
I appreciate
any
it.
questions, Anne in Brooklyn? Yes, thanks for being here. And I guess if no one has questions, then we are good to go.
Have an awesome Wednesday. Oh, Ann is off of mute.
Oh, Anne, got a question?
Oh, she's back on mute.
All right. Well, thank you guys. We appreciate everything. Anne in Brooklyn, I'll be reaching out to you about the gift card that you guys will be receiving. So yeah, thank you, Leslie, again, for your time and information.
Yeah, happy to. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.